This video will concentrate on only one part of Jordan Peterson's work, his book, 12 Rules for Life, subtitled An Antidote to Chaos. If you're watching this video, you will probably be familiar with Peterson's work and at least some of his videos. And this is not a critique, it's more like a tribute. So I want to keep preliminaries to a minimum, but you may need a bit of background. This video is an attempt to simplify this one book of his and make it more clear about what he's saying and what he's driving at and how is it relevant to you. Now, I'm making this video, I'm making this video in order to bring his work to a wider audience, as if he needs that. I mean, JP is a massive seller as it is. So why might this book need to be made simple? Well, because Jordan Peterson, admits that 12 Rules for Life is a difficult book. And I'll leave a link below to his video in which he says that. On the other hand, he does do simplicity. For example, at the start of another video, which I'll leave the link to, he says, stop drinking too much, short and sweet. But in 12 Rules for Life, he's wordy. JP is, for the most part, not a concise writer. And it's often difficult to know why he's saying what he's saying. What is he driving at? And how is it relevant to you? So I'm trying to read the book, think about it, unpack it, add words of my own, where I believe it helps the reader to get a clearer picture of what Peterson's driving at. So this is my interpretation, my understanding, in simple terms, of what he's saying. So here we go. There's so much in this book, in 12 Rules for Life. Even the dust cover contains useful information, such as happiness is a pointless goal. Now, what does that mean? What does he mean by that? Well, he seems to mean happiness is trivial. You can feel happy, say, after 3 drinks. Then after more drinks and a hangover, your happiness is gone. Instead of happiness, Peterson says we must search for meaning in life. For example, when tragedy strikes, you get cancer, for example, your happiness is gone. What do you do then? How do you keep going when your life is seriously damaged and there is no happiness? Well, you need to know that you have enough personal qualities, enough to live through the cancer. Your personality, your inner strength has to be bigger than the cancer. So when you ask yourself why cancer has happened to me, the answer could be something like, to show myself I can cope with tragedy, or to show others I can cope with tragedy, or to help others cope with tragedy. Now that gives purpose and meaning to your life. And meaning in life is something to seek, not the triviality of happiness. So before you get a big test in your life, such as cancer, you can develop meaning in smaller ways. Maybe it gives purpose and meaning to your life to be cheerful at work and keep your co-workers going through boredom or anxiety of the workplace. To look for purpose and meaning in everything you do is the sort of thing Peterson says. Now, this is all heavy stuff, but Jordan Peterson is heavy. And maybe we want that. Maybe we're tired of triviality. We need to find something deeper in our lives. Okay, that's the dust cover dealt with. Now there's a foreword. We still have not got to chapter 1, rule 1. We need to look at the foreword. It's essential. It's not an optional extra. So this video is to summarize the dust cover plus the foreword only. And then further videos will cover the remainder of the book if you want them. So onto the foreword. The foreword is written by somebody who apparently knows Peterson quite well and who is an author in his own right. And for example, the foreword writer picks up Peterson's idea of rules and makes some of Peterson's points for him, as if the foreword writer knows that Peterson needs explaining to his readers. So for example, the foreword writer says, people say, rules restrict me. I don't want rules. I don't want 12 rules for life. So the foreword writer's reply on behalf of Peterson is something like, okay, no restrictions, spend all your earnings on drugs, you can't pay the rent, you're unemployed, homeless, and lead a life of deplorable destitution from which you may never be able to escape. So Peterson's argument would go on. Remember, this is still a friend of his writing on his behalf. When you follow rules, such as manage your money, you have a place to live, food, a choice of clothing, maybe buy a car, take holidays, have a social life, take up a hobby, what's restricting about that? The second point, which comes up repeatedly in Peterson's videos, and it may be relevant here, is that rules start by putting your own house in order. In other words, before you tell the world how to organize itself, show the world that you can organize your own life. And Jordan Peterson often gives the simple example, tidy your room, as the first step of putting your own house in order. Now, Peterson does not like to get political, neither do I. He is a psychologist. Peterson is a psychologist, which means he studies why individual people behave as they do. But the political views of people are part of what they say and do. And so Peterson gets drawn into commenting on political issues. So when Peterson says, put your own house in order before you tell others how to organize the world, what is he driving at? Well, it could be something like climate change. That's an obvious example of what he might be driving at. It crops up all the time in conversations and in the media. We cannot avoid it. And the world is full of people who may be famous, travel by private jet, but lecture us on emissions and climate change. By the way, if you're going to listen to these people and talk in your social circle or at work about what they say, be careful what you say. Be careful what you say about them and how you say it. You don't want to get sacked for being anti-woke. So, okay, so far, the message is rules help you. Rules help you to get a better life. That's number one. And number two, put your own house in order before you start advising others, and watch out for people who are not doing that. Now, the next video, if you want it, is the Overture, which is written by Peterson himself as a prelude to Chapter 1, Rule 1, stand up straight with the shoulders back. Please let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a video of that overture, which comes just before Rule 1. I can do that, and then I can do a Rule 1 video, and so on. If you'd like to read something along similar lines to JP, but in simpler style, you might try my book, Men Fall in Love and Women Make Plans by Anthony Mersey. The UK link to my book is given below. Otherwise, just type Men Fall in Love and Women Make Plans, Anthony Mersey, into the Amazon search. You have to type in the author's name as well. Okay, thank you for watching.